All right, welcome to my podcast. This is the first episode, and I'm calling it It's All Good. There's not too many things that are going on that are all good right now. But that's not why I'm calling it that. I'm calling it that because I find myself saying it's all good a lot in random situations. So it resonated with me. I'm really bad at coming up with names, and I thought about this one for 4 days, and I was like, that sounds pretty good. And I looked it up and I didn't see anything else with this name. So I'm gonna roll with it. That's gonna be the name of this one. I don't really have a structure for this yet. I'm sure as this goes on, I'll figure out some sort of structure and have this kind of planned out to a point where you'll know what to expect, and just have some other people on here, and it'll be a good time. I'll try to make it be. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to use this one in particular to talk about something that's been at the top of my mind a lot lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm missing music a lot. But for some reason I've been thinking a lot lately about how I got started filming live music in Chicago. I don't know why that's been at the top of my mind, but I felt like it'd be cool for you guys to know the story. And you also get to hear me say a lot, because I think I've said 45 times already. So get used to it. You're going to hear me say a lot. This is going to be called the podcast from here on out. It's not going to be called that, but but yeah, so anyway, I'm going to tell you the story of how I got started with live music in Chicago. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. So I, my junior year of high school, I think was when I left the golf course that I was working at, and I needed to get a job like most humans do when they are in college, or at least once they're done. And I was kind of stuck on what to do, because I went on a bunch of job websites, and I applied for random video positions, and I think I applied for some photo thing, and I didn't hear back from anybody. And granted, at the time my resume wasn't probably the hottest resume compared to what other people were submitting. So yeah, I just wasn't getting those jobs, and I was not gonna lie, I was a little bit bummed out about it at first, but I realized that those things that I was applying to weren't in my field of what I wanted to do. And so I have an itch in my eye. But anyway, yeah, so those things weren't in the field of what I wanted to do. So I was like, what do I do? I really enjoyed filming skateboarding at the time, and I spent a lot of time doing it previously, so I felt like I was really good at that. And I came to find out that the only way I could make a job and living off of that is if I moved out to LA. And I don't know. I mean, there's a couple little things in skateboarding you can do here in the Midwest, but I don't think there's something that could hold you down permanently. I mean, skateboarding is super fun and all and everything. I love it. But yeah, there was no feasible job here for that. So I was kind of stuck, because I was telling my parents yo, I kind of like skating. I kind of like skating. I was telling them I kind of like filming skating, and there was nothing for it. So I had to kind of move past that idea, because that put me in a rut for a while. And then once I got past that, I was like, what is there? What else could I do? And that was when I just kind of was stuck, and I was literally unsure of where to apply, what to do, any of that stuff, since nobody had still hit me back. So I just started skating a lot. I just resorted to that. Anytime I don't know what to do, I just resort to something that I like doing. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And so I basically was just skating around around Grant. This was still my like end of junior year of college, I think. Maybe even beginning of, I think this was the end of my junior year. So I was skating around Grant Park a whole bunch with a bunch of my friends, and I felt like comfortable, you know? I was in my comfort zone, feeling good. And I was talking to a bunch of my friends there, and I was like, "Hey, like, what do you guys do?" And they were all like, "Well, I do this, I do that," and like nobody. I was kind of like expecting someone to be like, "Yo, I like film this," or like I do this video job or whatever, in hopes that they could hook me up with something. But nobody really said that for a while. So I went over to Grant Park another day, and I ran into one of my buddies, Chris, there, and he randomly asked me one night, like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this so far that I think he was doing lighting for it." And I like looked at him funny. I was like, "What's so far?" And he explained it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Like, that's pretty cool." And I was like, "Dude, I kind of like listening to music too. Like, that would be cool to like see music and like see new artists, whatever." So I went with him. I think it was either that night or night after or something, to a Sofar, and it was like this yoga studio in the middle of Oak Park, and it was really cool. It was like this really like unexpected environment, and I just like, I mean, I don't need to give you the whole lowdown of it, but it was just like a fun night, and I was like, holy cow, this is sweet. So he like a few days later was like, "Yo, do you want to be my intern? Like, help me set up lights at these Sofars. You could like run a camera and like all this." And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I'm totally down," because like I said, I had nothing. Like I just said, I mean, I had nothing like on my mind. I was like stuck, like, what do I do? What do I do? So this was like that like aha moment for me, where I was like, this could be something. And so he brought me to a bunch of Sofars. I was like doing lighting, and then I remember, I think it was like the first one that I filmed was over at this place called Chrome. Maybe it's called Chrome Industries in the city. And I remember this specifically. He was like, because I hadn't filmed any music yet. I'd only filmed like skateboarding, and he's seen what I can do like filming skateboarding, and he knows that like I can like do zooms and do a bunch of stuff, and that I'm like, I know what I'm doing with cameras. For some reason I got really nervous for this first Sofar. And the video's on YouTube. If you look up like Manesi, Let's Be Cool, I think it's called. There's a video of it on YouTube, and if you look at the wide angle shot, so that like shot from the front, you'll see some like super choppy zooms. I think there's like another one too that might populate in the search results. But yeah, anyway, I just was like filming that like super choppy for some reason, just because I was nervous, and it still haunts me to this day. I like go on YouTube and I look at it, I'm like, oh, why did this happen? But yeah, so I did that, and I was like, I know I could have done a better job, but I was like, it's all good. I think he's gonna, like, I'm his intern, so I'm gonna film more Sofars with him. So he just like told me afterwards, like, "Yo, you need to do this," and like he gave me some more advice, and I'm really thankful for that. And then he brought me to like more and more Sofars. I got more used to it, and I felt like super like comfortable after a while. He started like moving me around, telling me to get like different shots or different that. And I kind of just like took his advice with a lot of things, which came in handy. From there, Chris ended up moving on to Audio Tree eventually, and my buddy Alex took over as head of video, and Alex started inviting me to film more Sofars with him as well, because I was still like an intern, I think, and at which point they eventually just moved me over to be like an actual like worker for Sofar. So I was just one of the videographers on the team, and I was like working a whole bunch of shows with him, and it for some reason didn't really resonate with me until like I must have been like 30 or 40 shows deep or something. by the time it like resonated with me that this was something that I really liked doing, I just like was doing it but not realizing that I liked doing it, if that makes any sense. It sounds weird saying it, but it's true. And so once I realized that I like this, I was noticing that a lot of the artists really enjoyed being filmed, but their enjoyment was something different that I've never seen before. It wasn't like someone just being hyped on like something new or whatever. It was like excitement to like another level of like this whole like exclusive thing of like, oh my God, I get to be filmed. And like, I didn't think much of it at first because I was like, I'm sure there's like someone else that does this. You know what I mean? I was like, there's no way that like there's somebody not filming live music in Chicago right now. It's just, there's no way. Like everything's been done. And I'm by saying that, I don't mean like there's people that are not doing, because I've met people that also do it, but there was nobody out there that like is like filming like full shows and like posting them, because I even like did the research. I was like looking it up, and like nobody had filmed like full shows. I mean, there's like giant production companies out there that have done it like way in the past. Yeah, nobody now that was doing it. So I was like, the fact that these artists are really, really enjoying this, and the fact that I have like some equipment, I can do this. But the one thing that I was like so stuck on, I don't know why. I get, if you know me, you know that I get stuck on like weird things sometimes. But I was like thinking really like deep about this, and I was like, okay, what will I need realistically if I do this? Like, what are the like little like tech things, or what are the little pieces that I need? And one thing that came into my mind was like audio. I was like, dude, how am I gonna run this audio at like an actual show? You know, I knew nothing about audio. But what I did have was my friend Dan, who did audio with me at So Far. Him and I worked like a ton of gigs together. And so I hit him up and I was like, hey dude, how do I record audio to show if I don't have like your entire setup that you bring to So Far's? Like, obviously I won't be able to like, you know, afford one of those and bring it to shows and do all that, 'cause that's a whole job in itself. He's like, yo, so there's this little thing called like an XLR adapter you can get for your phone, and you can like plug it in and it'll get like a mono channel or whatever. And I was like, oh, that'd be pretty chill. And I was thinking like it'd be mono, but at least it'd be better than like just camera audio, you know? Because I think that was a really important piece to me. I was like, artists, if they want a video, they want it to like sound good too. Obviously, it's music; it has to sound good. You can't just have like some sort of like subpar audio. I was really like focused on that. And so just to give you a little like time reference, I think this was like I was like senior year in college, like end of senior year by this point. But yeah, so anyway, I was like trying to like get these pieces together and like think about how this is all gonna like work. And so I actually got that, and then I hit up my friend L.A. Van Gogh, who I had worked So Far with, or maybe I like met him through the grapevine or something. But anyway, I hit him up and I was like, hey, would you mind if I come and film one of your shows for free? And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm down for that for sure. And thankfully I had my buddy Corey, who was like so kind and just like down to earth and down to help me shoot this for free too, just because it was like the first show that I had shot, and I didn't want to charge anybody at first. I mean, that's how it is, anything you do like freelance. I mean, you can't just like charge someone if they don't know like what you're about to give them, you know? So I was like, okay, well, we'll shoot this and then we'll see how it turns out. and he played some awesome music. And I remember I like shared the video with him like a day later. I just like edited it right away, sent it off to him, and I think he posted the video. And I got like some people hitting me up like, yo, this is really cool, and like I could still see that the hype was there, you know. And I guess like looking back, I just didn't realize that there was just that much like excitement around having like someone's show filmed, you know. And so people were hitting me up like, yo, that was really cool, and so I think after that I hit up my friend Ryan Alexander, and I was like, yo, dude, do you mind if I like come out to your show and I film it free over at like the Promontory? And I remember like the lighting there was really good. The music was just awesome. The setup was really cool. I remember I brought that little audio thing with me too, set that up, and the guy knew exactly like what to do and everything. So he hooked that up. And I just remember I filmed that show, and I was like, I had like by then upgraded some of the equipment that I got, so I like invested in a nicer camera, but I still hadn't like upgraded anything audio, just had that little piece. And I remember I did the show, and then I like put that audio from that thing plus like camera audio or something like that, and the two together sounded pretty good. But I gave Ryan a show in full after that, and he was just like super hyped on it, and I got a lot of really good feedback for that too. And I'm not just saying like I got good feedback to be like, yo, I got good feedback. Like people are actually DMing me after like this. Two people were like, yo, this is awesome, and that was kind of like a little like clicking moment for me. I was like, all right, this is something that is actually happening. This is real. And you just should like keep doing this. But I was like stuck again because I was like, man, what am I gonna do like still about this audio? Because I was like, I need to have this figured out. I need to have this whole like audio thing totally figured out, and like just to a T if I want to do this like professionally, and like start like charging people and start like making it like a real thing that's like legit, you know. And so I took like another little mini break from shooting shows, except for sofars. I kept doing sofars, but I took a little break from shooting like actual shows, even though I'd only done like 2. And I like stepped back and I was like, all right, so is there anybody at all doing this? First off, like I had to like double check again, and I like one thing came up. It was like Vanilla Video or something like that on Google, but they weren't actually filming live music. And I remember I looked in my email, and you know how you get like those emails that are like clickbait for jobs? It'll say like something that you searched, and then it'll put like your town in it, so that when you see it, you're like, oh, wow. But it's just clickbait. I was getting emails like this. It was like live music filming available in Wheaton, Illinois. And I was like, okay. And it wasn't real. It wasn't real. So, yeah, nothing was going on there. And I was like, all right, I'm still good. But what are like the next steps for audio? And like I just wanted to see like feedback on sofars that I was doing too, and see if people were still like enjoying it. And they were. So I like started to do more research, and I found this one recorder that was called an H6, and I was like, all right, cool, this will be like nice to have. So I remember I bought it, and then it had like a long shipment day or something like that. It had a long shipment time. And so I spent like a few days going over to Fargo to go skateboard, and that's like a big indoor skate park. And I was just like skating, and while I was skating, this is interesting. So while I was skating, I ran into a friend of mine who also skates, who's also heavily involved in the music scene. His name is Owen, and he shoots photos. He's a really dope photographer. And I ran into him there, and I forget if we were like listening to Beach Bunny, or I think he just came up to me and was like, yo, dude, you need to check out this band called Beach Bunny. And it's funny because usually when people do that to me, I'm like, okay, and I'll genuinely check it out. You know what I mean? But music doesn't resonate that well with me usually. And so once he told me to check, I was like listening to it, and after I remember I listened to it and I thought, I think I've heard this song before when I listened to like their top song, and I just wasn't sure, but I started listening to it and I was like, dang, these guys are good. And all of a sudden I think I messaged him about them or something, and he's like, yo, dude, did you know like they're from Chicago? And I was like, oh my God, no way. So I started looking them up on Google and like Instagram and just everywhere. And I noticed that they had like a pretty big following, and something in my brain was like, all right, dude, if you can film someone like that has like a pretty good following, that's a pretty good way to get your name out there. Because that's a lot of eyes on something and a lot of like just attention, I guess. And I was like, that's a good way to like put yourself out there. So, I also was like, dude, it would be cool just to like support, like, I mean, I've been doing it for a while now. So I was like, it'd be cool just to like support another, band in Chicago. So I remember I went home like a day later and I was like, all right, how am I going to get a hold of Beach Bunny? Like I don't have any point of contact. I've heard of them like a couple days ago. How the heck am I going to like get a hold of them? And it occurred to me that I knew this girl, Alicia, who is really, really dope. She knows like a lot of musicians in Chicago. She has a lot of good music she'll listen to and share and post. And so I hit her up because I think I'd seen her posting about Beach Bunny before. And she was like, yo, I think I know like Lily's contact info, and I have like her email or whatever. So I was like, oh my God, like I hit up the right person, you know? So she was like so kind to just be like, all right, I'll get you in contact with her. I think she talked to her before I even like went to that show. And she was like, hey, my friend Max is looking to like film your show at Shubas. Would you be down? And she responded like a day later and was like, yeah, of course, I'm down. Like super, super down with it. And I hadn't even like met her yet at this point. All I knew was that she was playing a solo show at Shubas and that I was going to film it. So I showed up to that show and I didn't have my good audio recorder yet. I still had that little like mono recorder. And I remember I got to the Shubas like super early. I think I was like the first one there. I think I even beat like their like staff there. I think there was like one person behind the bar and that was it. But anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I got there and I remember when she like came in, I was like, oh my God, like thank you for having me like film this. And she was just like super down to earth, like super nice, like thank you, oh my God, like super excited. And I filmed that show. The show sold out. There was like show sold out. The room was packed. And then remember the guy there was like, yo, dude, like you might not be able to set your camera in the back because it's gonna be sold out. Like it's just people might knock it down. And that was when I started to learn about like restrictions inside of venues outside of So Far. I started to learn about like restrictions of where to set your camera, and that was kind of a lesson there for me. But yeah, so that went over really well. I remember I like shared the video with her after the show and she posted it. And the one thing about it though is that I remember I used the recorder, the little mono recorder, but I like blew out the audio on accident. So I remember I had my friend Dan like mix the like camera audio and then I think that file too. He did something. He like made it sound better than what I had, just because I knew it was gonna have like a lot of views on it, and I was like, I don't want to mess this up. I can't screw this up. So anyway, yeah, he did that, and then I remember like she posted it, and like after a day or something, it had like 20,000 views, and then I checked it a few days later, it was like 50,000. and it had like my name in the corner of it. And it had like the little brand name, which I'll tell you guys about how I came up with that in a second. And I was like, oh my God, a lot of people are going to see this. Like, people are going to start hitting me up. And I was right. People were hitting me up again and like, yo, da da da. And I was like, yo, let me like get this equipment straight. Let me see if I can like figure this all out first. And so I was like slowly taking in these requests, and I was just like offering like super low rates for these that people were hitting me up at first, because I was still new to it, you know. I don't want to like overcharge for something that I don't feel 100% confident in yet. But yeah, so anyway, my brand, or I guess my brand name was, or it still is, Chicago Show Videos, but it just doesn't come off right, man. Anytime I think about it, I'm like, I just don't like how that like sounds. It's weird. I'm not good at coming up with the names. It doesn't like roll off your tongue smooth. It's not like Chicago Show Videos. It like, you have to like think about it. And it's so like, I don't know, it's just a very cookie cutter name. If it's like, I was thinking I want to have Chicago in it. And then I asked people on Instagram, like, what do you call it? Performances, shows. I forget, there was a couple options I laid out, but people were like, shows, that's the word we use. So I was like, all right, I'll do Chicago Show. And then I didn't want to use video, but it was like the only thing I could think of. So I was like, all right, I'll do videos. And it just, I don't know, man. I don't even use the Instagram anymore. Like, I should be using that more. It's like at Chicago Show Videos, but I should be using it more than I do, because I really don't use it. I think people just know me by Willmax95. In fact, they know me so well by that people call me Will. I get called Will probably like twice a week. But again, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not sweating it. I don't get mad. It's all good. It's in my username. I get it. I completely get it. But it's just Will Max because my name's Max Williams. So I took the Will from Williams, you know how it goes. But yeah, so anyway, wow, I got lost in my own conversation. But yeah, anyway, so I remember just that show got posted and people were hitting me up, and it was really awesome. So from there, I remember my friend Tanner from this band named Holly that I worked with so far hit me up and was like, hey, we're having a show at the Chop Shop. Can you film our show? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down. And like, I remember I went there and I like met the whole band, and like I reconnected with just everyone again from seeing them at So Far. And it was just a really good experience. They were like super down to earth, like super nice people, and super thankful to like know those guys. And that just, I remember they posted it after we shot it, and I was like super happy with how it turned out, and I got a lot of really good feedback. Once again, kind of the same thing I've been saying this whole time. And so that got like, I remember one of the songs up on YouTube got like a bunch of views on it and a bunch of like good comments, and I was just like, sweet, dude, this is what's up. And so after that, I remember my friend Chris texted me and was like, hey, do you want to film this band called Bone Lang? And he knew them, I think, again, from So Far. And we went out to, Lincoln Hall, which was the first time I'd ever filmed a show at Lincoln Hall. And I was really excited to do that. And he was like, yo, it's the kind of shot I need you to get. And then like we had 2 other people there shooting. So it was just, I remember we did that one, and I mean, I don't need to give you like the whole lowdown of it, but it just went really well. And I remember the feedback was also great on YouTube, and that video got like 70,000 views on it. And then I posted on Instagram, and I was like flooded with good comments, and I was like, all right, this is really feeling good now. And a few weeks later, maybe this might have even been the same show, as a matter of fact. That's kind of irrelevant to what I'm talking about. But anyway, we ended up filming the Main Squeeze, which, if you haven't heard of the Main Squeeze, they're a pretty big band out in California, actually. And a lot of people know about them. And so we filmed that at Talia Hall, and that video just got like a crazy amount of views. I think it's in like the 100,000s or something. And people were just like really hyped on it. And I remember they like put my name down in the credits and everyone else that worked on it. And I was just like super excited about that. at the time, and I still am excited. But I mean, it's pretty cool. But anyway, my buddy Joey, who I skate with, he is in this band called Alabaster, and I remember he hit me up right after that show that I shot, and he was like, yo, I really like the Main Squeeze show you shot. Like, do you think we could shoot one? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down. So I think I shot their show over at like Martyrs. And that show turned out really sick. They were super hyped. And yeah, man, I guess I just don't need to give you like the whole lowdown on it all. Just everyone I've worked with is just super, super nice people. And just if you find something you like doing, just keep rolling with it and just keep pushing at it, because eventually it will turn into something. If you kind of put in the work and put in the time and show people you love it, they'll support you back. And people you know are like guaranteed to support you too, because you know them, and that's what we do. But yeah, man, just keep pushing at whatever you like doing. And that's kind of what I did, and the spiral effect just started happening. I'm still, I mean, not right now, obviously, because the pandemic. I'm not getting like texts for shows exactly, but I'm still shooting like other little like small performances with my friends, like in their, whether it's like in their basement or their backyard, or like, I don't know, everyone's getting creative, man. People are hitting me up and it's fun. Socially distant sessions and other cool avenues. I'm doing some like session videos right now over my buddy Jonfin's basement. Those have been really fun, kind of filling in that little void I've had of like not filming performances. That's been fun. Yeah, man, I'm just, this whole, again, where I'm getting is just me filming shows kind of turns into like other avenues and opens up other doors, and it's just been fun, man. It's crazy to think that there was a day that I didn't even have like any of the cameras I have right now, or I didn't even have like any audio thing, or like have anything, you know what I mean? But it's all paid off. It's all paid off, and it's been like a really fun ride. I'm eternally thankful for everybody at So Far. I mean, everybody I've mentioned too already. I mean, nothing like this would have ever happened if it weren't for any of you guys. I mean, it's crazy. You always just gotta just like stay on top of it and just meet new people, man. You'd be surprised at how much people can help you out and open other doors. And yeah, man, it's been really cool. That's kind of the whole like story of it. But man, just kind of looking back, I miss shows, man. I'm sure anyone else listening to this probably misses shows as much as I do, if not more, because I'm sure a lot of you like, or not a lot, I'm sure like a handful of you listening to this, you probably like rely on shows too. It's like it's just, man, it's weird. I also was like thinking about this the other day too. Like, at what point is like someone just gonna like hit the switch and everybody's gonna feel comfortable being at a show again? You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to someone about this, and it's just gonna be like rolled out like social distancing measures and certain. And I don't even know, man. I can't predict the future, but it's just weird. I can't even like begin to think of when I'll feel comfortable in a big group of people again. It's really kind of strange to think about. I hope we can have shows again, but obviously I want to stay safe, and whatever it takes for our health to be safe is what's important to me. So yeah, just can't wait for that day. But anyway, hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast. This was mainly just to cover how I started my business of filming live music in Chicago. So if you enjoyed this, thanks for listening. And I have another podcast coming right after this one. It'll be episode 2 with a good friend of mine who I think most of you know. So stay updated for that. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.